And while you were talking about women entrepreneurs, I saw one woman entrepreneur sitting on this stage nodding her head. We would like to know, Nazia, a little bit about Inchin Closer, because it's a very interesting name first. And secondly, you know, when did this rush of learning Mandarin start?
So I used to live in China from 2006 to 2009, and I realized that there was a lot of similarity between the two countries, but we were doing very little to really highlight the similarities. So I decided to come back to India and start Inchin Closer, literally the name India, China Closer, to bridge the gap between the two countries, predominantly for trust, which we're all talking about. The idea was to create a platform for Indians and Chinese to be able to communicate easily with each other, because we felt that if you're able to talk to each other, you're able to communicate with each other directly, it's much easier to then trust each other. So this works across trade, business, whether you're just traveling across the country, it works for everyone. So the idea was to empower the people to speak the same language and therefore trust each other. And yes, Bipin, we're two women entrepreneurs. We're actually the only Mandarin language institute in India that has a female founder and a female Chinese partner. So we're an Indian and a Chinese, both of which understand each other's countries, have lived and traveled across each other's countries, and we work together.
Nazia, I'm sure many people would have told you that it sounds like inching closer. Not just inchin, but inching closer,
That's
which
true.
is about the relationship between the two countries that we are talking about. Nazia, my limited knowledge about Chinese athletes is by talking to likes of PV Sindhu and Saina Nehwal. They have been friends with, these Chinese girls whom they have managed to beat, not very many times, but few times. But tell us a little bit about your experience of traveling across China, length and breadth of China, and how it has changed your perceptions about Chinese.
So China is a very interesting country. One thing that we don't realize as Indians about China is that China is 3 times the size of India. So the diversity and the differences that we see within China are so much more, that we see in India are so much more in China as well. So generally as Indians, we tend to club China as one country and we think that it's all the same, but it's quite different. Another thing that I find interesting about China is that there is equality of men and women. There is no difference between caste and class. They don't segregate people so much. It's something that I would appreciate much more in India. And a third thing that I see between India and China is that as part of our education, the Chinese tend to think more deep down versus the Indians tend to think more laterally. This helps the Indians to jugaad or innovate when it comes to the workspace, so that we are able to, when we hit a roadblock, we're able to work in more innovative ways, versus the Chinese will perfect a particular way of working and just work according to that methodology, which is interesting between the two countries as well. So it's good because we need a little bit of both. I think India needs a little bit more of structure, and the Chinese need a little bit more of innovation and jugaad, and the Indian version of it.
Nazia, could you also talk to us a little bit about the cultural similarities between the two countries?
Sure. There's a lot of cultural similarities between India and China. So like we've all shared, Xuanzang came to India in search of Buddhist scripts way back in the 600. And since then, India and China have been trading with tea and cotton and spices and silks throughout the years. As a result, and I will delve more into the language aspect of this, but India and China share a lot of language similarities. So the Indians have got the word cha from China. So we say chai or cha in Gujarati. We have also got the word lychee from China, which is little known. But there have also been words that have gone from India to China. So, for example, the word Malika, which is the word for jasmine, has become the Chinese word Moli Hua. And also the word for nirvana, the Sanskrit word nirvana, has become Nepan in China. So we share a lot of linguistic similarities. What's also interesting is the word for sugar. So sugar originated from India and was always known as shakar. When it went to China, the Chinese refined it, crystallized it, made it white in color, and when that came back to India, it became chini. So that's why we say chini in Hindi today, and it still refers to the chini because it came from China.
Very interesting, yeah.
Yeah. There are two things that I would like to correct though, because I hear it all the time when we teach Mandarin, is the word for chow mein. So as Indians, we tend to say chow mein a lot. If you go to China, you're not going to find any chow mein. It doesn't exist. The word is chow mein. Chow meaning fried, mien meaning noodles. So the chow mein is the bastardized version of chow mein. Also, what is there is we say Szechuan in India, and there's no Szechuan in China, right? The word is Sichuan, which is a province in China, and it all comes from there. We've just, again, bastardized the same version, and it's become Szechuan. So when you go there, don't order Szechuan chow mein. Doesn't exist.
Well, Nazia, I have to tell you, chow mein, as we call it, is famous in India. It's one of the most famous street foods as well. It's not just gourmet cuisine. It's also famous as street food.
Agreed.
Nazia, if I am to go to China and teach yoga, what are the 5 must Mandarin phrases I should know?
Not sure about teaching yoga, but the first one you could say Ni hao, wo jiao, and your name. Most Indians like to go to China and bargain. So I would say you need to learn the word 多少钱, which is how much money. The second one, which is connected to it, is 可以便宜点吗, which is can you make it cheaper? The next one would be 我不吃肉, which is I don't eat meat, because many Indians are vegetarian and find it difficult when they go to China. And the last one, 我们是朋友, which is we are friends.
Come on, give me some fun phrases.
One interesting one is ganbei, which is cheers or bottoms up.
Well, with that, I think this dialogue enabled us to inch closer to each other, and we will be inching closer with China. By we, I mean India, in years to come. And thank you very much, our esteemed
Thank you.
panelists, for joining me.
Thank you.